Today we have special episode. I will be giving you our step-by-step formula for global expansion. What you will exactly hear in today's episode is how we approach as a consulting company to global expansion with our clients. This episode will be a little bit longer, but it's really worth for you to stay and watch it fully, because again you will get blueprint for engaging with the global clients and entering global markets. My name is Adam Skoneczny and you are watching Go Global Asia podcast. I've been living in Asia for 8 years, and for the last 6 years I've been helping Asian companies expand business globally. In this podcast I am discussing about everything related to the sales, global expansion and collaboration with global clients. So guys, today we have this special episode. Why I'm saying special? Because in this episode I will share with you our formula. So to be honest with you, if somebody asks me what is the most important asset of your organization, so except the people that working with me, I would say that the know-how that we have here is our most valuable asset. What do I mean? The process that I have created of global expansion, the process that has been designed for Asian companies to enter Western market, to enter APAC market. This is the most valuable asset for this company. And today I give you overview of this process. I will share with you step by step how we do it. Maybe not step by step, it will be phase by phase, because our projects are divided for phases. So you will hear about our phases, how we do it, and in those phases you will hear specific elements what we do in each phase. I was hesitating a little bit to share with you this knowledge, but my philosophy of the life is just basically based on sharing with other people the things I have learned during my life. And basically I cannot exist and guide my life against my philosophy, so that's why I am sharing with you this information. So let's get right into it. Let me start with phase number 1, master plan and setup. Every project that we run, and I believe every big project that you want to set up, should start from the planning. You should have your map, you should have your guidance, your instruction for the global expansion. And this is exactly what we are doing at our organization. As a first step, we are preparing master plan. How to prepare master plan? Master plan to prepare, you need to first conduct company audit. Company audit is built of multiple high-level meetings. What do I mean? Meeting with the founders of the company, with the owners, with the people who know history of the company. Also, in the audit, we have a part that we do SWOT analysis of the business. We discuss with the delivery team. We go visit the production floor. So we get in very, very deep into the business, because in the master plan, we need to have the parts that are devoted for the current state of the business and the future state of the business. Without current state, without understanding what is happening now in the business, we will not be able to design the map for the future, the business appearance, if I can say like that. So that's the one part. Second part, we also, in the master plan, we will draft the way how we will enter the market. And in those in this plan, you will see elements such as channels that we will choose to approach the client, our ICP, our unique selling point, our service offering, our strategies to approach this specific client. So that's the second very important part. Next is the helicopter view. Helicopter view, it's like a mind map that will present whole project visually. This mind map we usually print and put on the wall somewhere near sales department, so they can see the overview of the project, and if they feel lost, they can always come back there and read it. Next part is training. To get the project going successfully, we need the people. And the people we need, they need to be able to execute specific tasks. And very often they do not have a knowledge about executing some task. And because of that, we need to train them. But there is one more important element. We don't train them anything what is in our agenda. We train them things what they need. How we do it? Basically, before we design training, we actually have a one-on-one meeting with each sales team member or marketing team member, and then we design the training for their specific skills or for their specific needs to solve their pain points, meaning they probably struggling with some specific skill. So then we will focus on that skill to help them improve. Another element in this phase that we will focus on, and you should focus on as well, is market research. And how we approach market research. I see that many people, they have their own way to research about the market. How we do it? We actually draft SOP, standard operating procedure, that we share with our client, and then they have a step-by-step instruction how they should do the market research. Thanks to this kind of approach, we can make sure that we get the most important information or the information that we need to design master plan. This is very important element. You need to make sure that the team who is doing the market research for you, they know exactly what to do. It's very crucial. If you make mistake there, then you have a high chance that the whole global expansion project will fail. When we do market research, I always ask our team members, the people who do market research, to apply 3 methodologies. First, it's a direct market research, then it's indirect market research, and there is the kill the project methodology. I will not be getting into this right now because this episode it's not about how to do market research. But if you want to learn more about that, let me know in the comment, and if I see many people are interested in the market research subject, I will record separate video. Last element that I would highly suggest you to implement in the first phase is building the team. If you do not have enough resources to support you in the global expansion, you need to solve this. And basically, if you don't have people, then hire them. And in the first phase, it's a great time to start recruiting newcomers. Either you are looking for junior salespeople, you're looking for the middle salespeople or senior, or maybe you're looking for the intern. The higher skills you're looking for, the more time you need. So make sure that in this phase, number 1, you have those resources, so then when you enter in phase number 2, they can work and help you expand globally. Now, regarding the time, how long it takes to prepare all of that, it's usually taking around 8 weeks to get everything running. I can tell you from my perspective, it's pretty fast. Why? Because from my observation, if the company started to first time and they want to do it really good, usually it's taking 3 months to do the good market research. But with us, because we have already SOPs, we have experience, we have a criteria for the market research, we can actually speed up this process much faster. Additionally, our recruitment process also can be much faster. The reason is that we have a very specific process in place that will allow us to quicker sort out the good fit salespeople to the project and the not fit salespeople. Thanks to this, we can actually speed up the whole process and narrowing that under 2 months. Phase number 2. testing initial assumption and deep company analysis. As far in the phase number 1, there was a lot of work, kind of preparation work, kind of strategic work, kind of planning work. In the phase number 2, it is much more execution work. So if you look at your team and divide it for the 2 parts, one is strategic team and one is execution team. So in the phase number 1, the strategic team was more engaged. So in our case, this is much more time when we as a consultant helping our clients, meaning we put in a lot of hard work in the phase number 1 to make sure that we prepare for you guys very good plan. However, in the phase number 2, we are turning into the guidance, into the guides. So again, and the same would be with the strategic team. Whoever is in the strategic team, let's say founder, leader, CEO, they will turn into the guide. What's that mean? Basically, they design strategy and now they need to guide the execution team how to execute this strategy. And this is what is happening in phase number 2. Additionally, you can hear that I call this phase testing initial assumptions. And many people, they're a little bit surprised. Adam, you did so many projects. Why you need to test assumptions? Why you don't just copy what you did with another company, what was successful, and implement into us? And the answer is very simple. Every company is different. Every project is different. Every ideal client profile is different. Every unique service offering with design is different. And strategy must be adjusted to this specific client that we work with. If every company is the same, if there is one strategy for the global expansion, for the growing your business, every company would be size of Microsoft. But obviously we know that this is not the truth. So we need to approach this very, I call it ad hoc, meaning specifically for the client that we work in right now. And what's that mean in the practice? Let's say in the master plan we have a 5 sales channel that we design for the company, and we assuming that there will be fit for the ICP, for the market we want to target, and for service we are offering. Then we take one channel and we test. We take a sample and we run campaigns. Then we repeat this 2 or 3 times to make sure that we have a good result. We measure every part of the campaign, everything what is in the campaign we measure, and then we check in the result. Additionally, when we actually executing campaign, we implement PDCA model to make sure we can also improve during the running campaign. PDCA is stand for Plan, Do, Check, Act, and this is methodology or framework that helping us improve sales department. Basically, this is the PDCA loop is taken from military, US military, and actually they use it for improvement of their strategy or improvement of their, it actually was designed for the Air Force. So the improvement of their activities in the sky. And we actually copy this framework and input it in the sales department, and it's working for us very, very well. Thanks to this, we can see what is work, what it doesn't work, where we should improve. After we improve, what will be outcome of this improvement, and should we keep changing or should we keep operating as it is. Very important framework, and thanks to that, we can measure and know what is happening in every campaign. As you heard, I also said that the name of this phase is testing initial assumption and deep company analysis. So after we design master plan, after we do the market research, I always repeat to my client or people that I'm working with, this is never ending story. The market is changing, we are changing, we're getting new employees, we're getting new experience. We should keep verifying what is happening in our team, what is happening in market, what is happening in economy, and adjust. That's why I say, whenever I work with any client, or if you are the leaders, you belong to the strategic group, you need to observe your team constantly. You need to observe market constantly and adjust if you see some important element. Let's say you see some trend in the market and you can benefit on this trend, then you can consider adjusting. Let's say you hire some very specific resources to your company with some specific skills. So then you can adjust your service offering. Keep observing what is happening, keep analyzing your company, keep analyzing the market, and keep adjusting. Additionally, if client decide to work with us on marketing, we will also start here preparing for setting up marketing campaigns. And why I'm saying here we start preparing? Because I do not like to implement marketing in the phase number 2. Because marketing, first of all, the feedback loop, it's much longer than from direct sales. What I mean, if you implement marketing, you can expect some feedback, meaning some traction from your marketing activities after some specific longer time, let's say 3 months, 6 months. Except paid advertising, which I don't recommend at the early phase. The feedback is again very long. So what I rather to do, I rather to run direct campaigns, observe what is happening, then start designing marketing campaigns based on the things I learn from sales campaigns. Sales campaigns, they will give you feedback much faster. Direct sales campaign especially. So what's that mean? If I see that this typical ICP is reacting to this specific message or this specific problem, then I will take this information and implement it to the plan of the marketing. Thanks to this, I have a very low chance of failing and burning money during I do marketing activities. And again, this is not an episode regarding marketing. This is an episode regarding global expansion project overall. So I will be not getting really deep into it. But key elements such as buyer journey, mofu, tofu, bofu, those are the elements that you need to implement or need to understand, at least at this phase, to be able to implement your marketing strategy. Last but not least, how long usually this phase is taking for us and our client? Usually this phase it's take around 16 weeks. And this is for us something what we notice that will be enough time to test the market when implementing our processes. If you have a different process, if you have a different formula, if you don't use, let's say, PDCA, if you have more channels, if you have a less channel, there are multiple different elements. But for us, on average, it will take 16 weeks. Phase number 3, scaling. As the name it says, this is the time where we actually start scaling our global expansion project. And to be honest with you, this is the most favorite phase of my client as well of mine. So in practical sense, what is happening here in this phase? Basically, imagine that in your master plan you design 4 markets, and in those 4 markets you had like 20 ICP that you want to target. After 3-4 months of initial testing of your assumptions, you figure out that, okay, only 2 markets works, and in those 2 markets, only 5 ICP works. And for those 5 ICP, very specific problem works, and very specific service offering works. You have very clear information. You have already channels that you should use to approach them, and you have some team members who are focusing on the market that's not converting. What does that mean? You taking those people and you inserting them, if I can say like that, to the market that converting for you the best, and then you teach them strategy and formula that you already tested and that is converting for you very well. Additional reason why this is so exciting, because we will be moving through the stages of the sales process and we will be in the further stages with our client. What does that mean? When we start in the phase number 2 of the project, you can imagine that there will be a lot of lead generation. What does that mean? A lot of manual job and searching online or offline. But then in the phase number 3, when we scale, we already sit down in front of the client. We are negotiating, we are persuading, we are bringing the proposals. Very interesting sales activities that you also, don't forget, you need to train your team how to do it. And again, when you work with us, for instance, we design training that fit the needs of your team. And this, what I will say, is pretty important now. How we can know what are the needs of the team? We know it by measuring conversion on sales stages. Basically, sales process has multiple stages. And then if you measure the numbers on each of those stages and its conversion rate, you can know which stage is weak. If you know which stage is weak, you know what you need to train. And then, by designing specific training that match with your sales team, you can right away see improvement in the sales stage that previously was very weak. And thanks to that, the results increasing significantly. In this phase, it's also the time when we start implementing automation tools. And you might ask, Adam, why you didn't do it earlier? Why you use the resources and request them to do it manually if you could implement automatic tools? The answer is, I cannot say simple, but the answer that we find out, or the feedback we got from our team members and our client, is basically if at the very early stage we implement the automation tool and we create, let's say, AI agents, or we will create a robotic process automation system for our client to generate lead. Later on, if something happens, nobody knows how to fix it. What I mean, later, let's say if something happened in the market, economic trend change, or we need to change ICP, if the people will not go through the process of setting up strategy and executing it manually, and if we implement the right away automation tool, they will not know how to fix it. So basically, teaching your team and requesting them at the early stages to do the job manually, it will later on give you benefit if something happens. Last but not least, what happened in the stage number 3, we start implementing marketing. So as I mentioned before, in this stage, you already know what is your market, who is your client, what pain point we're solving, what service offering we're using, what channel we are using to reach them, what message resonate with them. Taking this information, adding them to the marketing plan, we can create much more successful marketing strategy that will really bring you leads. And again, because the feedback loop is 6 months or 3 or 6 months ahead, you rather to make sure that your marketing strategy is the best as it can be. So the last question, how long it will take scaling? Scaling is usually quite quick process that we can teach our team very quickly, meaning you can pass information very quickly, as well as you can grow their skills also very quickly. And when you're collaborating with us, usually that stage it will last for 6 to 10 weeks. Phase number 4, ongoing support. And here, this is last phase of the global expansion project, and in this phase We will be focusing just on the improvement of the sales team member. We will be focusing on the analysis of the market, and we will be focused on our marketing as well. So let me explain you with a little bit more details. In this phase, it's very important to not relax and become arrogant because you think you know everything already. As I said many times, market is changing all the time. Your competition doesn't sleep. They are looking what you are doing. They are researching. They are finding new tools. And the client getting resistant to your campaigns. That's why the most important is measuring the numbers. Second, continuous communication with the sales team. What that means? Once every 3 months you set up the meeting with the sales team and you ask them, guys, do you see any new trend in the market? Guys, do you see any new requests from the client? Guys, are the client complaining about something? Guys, do you see any new sales channel or new technology that will be game changer for us? And asking those kind of open-ended questions will help you to understand what is happening in the market. And your sales team is the best source of information because they have a current data, meaning they work with the client, they do lead generation, they see what is happening in the market, and they will be able to share with you those information. Next thing is continuous observation of the sales process and sales stages. And again, you focus on the same thing as in the phase number 3, that's been on the conversion. And then if you see some significant drop down in one phase, you need to consider about the change in strategy and training your sales team. Last but not least, in this phase, you need to continuously, closely observe your marketing activities. And in marketing, it will be similar like in the sales. You will figure out that some channels, some activities, they work and some not working. So as soon as possible, get rid of those ones that not working and put more resources into those that are working. Make sure that your marketing funnel is designed properly, that you have your top of the funnel, middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel set up in the right way, as well as you have a final call to action also set up. There is nothing worse than then creating, let's say, your strategy is educational marketing, you educate the client, but you don't have a call to action and they go to buy the same service or product with the other service provider who has a clear call to action. So make sure that you have a clear call to action because this can be game changer for you. And guys, what can I say? How long this phase lasts? As the name it can give you the hint, it's ongoing, it's never-ending story. You need to work with your team all the time to make sure that you are controlling the project of the expansion, you're controlling your sales department, and you know if there are any challenges with your sales team. Regarding our consulting company, how does it look when we collaborate with our client? Basically, we are reducing number of hours that we engage with the client. On average, we reduce it to 4 hours per week, and we only engage in the most important element during the project expansion or creating new strategy. Additionally, we just only engage with the training to support the sales team or sometimes delivery team. As well, the last point, we engage in the introduction of the client from the Western country that coming through our network or through our referral program, and we introduce them to the people that we provide the consulting services to. Guys, so that's it. That's the all 4 phases. What I want you to do next is basically take pen, paper, start with this video from very beginning and go together with me through those 4 phases and draft your plan, draft your initial strategy. So as I mentioned in the beginning, you're starting from place where you are, list out where you are, that you write down your goal, and then there is the big space between when you are and what is your goal. And then step by step, together with me, by watching this video, design phases. You can divide it for 3, 4 phases, and list out what activities you need to do in those phases to reach your goal. If you feel this is overwhelming or this is too much, or maybe you're not familiar with this task, you can always contact with us. Clicking on our website, you have a join waiting list for our free consultation, and you can put your name there and sign up for free consultation. Then one of our consultants, or maybe me, will join with you to the meeting and we will discuss about your global expansion project. So guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you find this very useful and practical, and I really hope to hear from you very soon. This was Go Global Asia podcast. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.